possible. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Everyday Psychic Radio. Healing, guidance, and readings for everyday people just like you. To find your way to your highest self and living your best life. Featuring psychics Jennie McDaniel and Stacie Martin. And your host, Drew Pillow. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to our show. It's Sunday. What a great day. And on Sundays, as you know, we have the Everyday Psychic Radio Show, and this is a show where we open up the phone lines and allow listeners like you to connect with actual psychics and get some energy healing and some great guidance, advice, what have you. And today, we don't have Stacie Martin with us, but we do have Jennie McDaniel, and we also have a very special guest for you today, and her name is Naomi Calderon. No, I knew I was going to try and do that. Naomi, how are you today?
Good afternoon. I am doing great. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you. How do you? Okay, so how do you say your name? I know how I say it, but how do you say it?
Yeah, please don't ask me.
Okay, we're going to call you name.
It's an ongoing joke with my husband, obviously his name.
Oh.
And I'm a white girl from Idaho, so I'm like, yeah, it's Calderon. And he's like, no, it's no. I'm like, well, tell me how to say it. And so then I practice it, and he cringes. So, yeah, don't ask me to say it. You did a much better job.
Son las Naomi Calderon. Whatever that means. And Jennie, we're still working on getting Jennie here. But let me go ahead and introduce this show really quickly. I have something written down here. For those who've never been on this, who've never tuned in, I see Jennie right there in the chat room. Hi. Speaking of chat rooms, if you mosey over to our website on Blog Talk Radio, it's blogtalkradio.com/Heart Over Ego Radio, and at the bottom of the page there is a chat room. You can chat it up with us. Sometimes people prefer to type their question. They don't want their voice heard live, so that's an option for you. But if you do so desire, you can talk with us, and all you have to do is dial this number 323-642-1188. 323-642-1188. The phone lines are filling up right now. And so in just a moment, we're going to get right into taking callers, and you can be one of those. So here's our official intro. Everyday Psychic Radio, free readings. This is a psychic awareness and experience show for everyday people just like you, featuring the talented Jennie McDaniel and today's amazing guest, Naomi Calderon, Naomi C., and hosted by me, Drew Pillow. I'll tell you what my talent is, but you know what? I'm not going to tell you. I'll just let you guess. So as we prepare ourselves, Naomi, can you give us a brief intro on you, what you do, and how you do it, and why you do it?
Absolutely. Would love to. Thanks, Drew. I am an elemental coach, so I work with the 5 elements of Chinese medicine and helping people ditch the fraud of busy to bring more balance to their life. And that's whether it's relationships, health, whatever areas those are, because we live in a culture that is really gung-ho on being out of balance with our yin and yang, and I like to help bring people back in balance.
Well, hell yeah. That's so important, yeah. It's it's so important. I can't even begin to talk about how important it is. Because you know what, for me to be able to fully appreciate talents like yours, I had a lot of learning to do, because my programming told me that go to the doctor, work more, who needs to sleep, keep watching TV, and drink a beer every now and then, and don't cry. And if that's not working, you're just weak. Don't let anybody know. Yeah, so I had a lot of learning to do. Somebody had a lot of explaining to do.
Right.
They didn't explain it. But what you do is you help people to actually like experience true like contentment and health and wholeness,
Hmm.
wellness, and that's just sustainable,
Yes.
not just the pop a pill, feel better, and then feel worse, and come back and buy some more medicine from me, right?
Right. Now we're looking at sustained, we're looking at long term, we're looking at all the aspects. I approach things from a seasonal aspect. What are we doing that's in congruence with nature? Where are we not congruent with nature? And what would it do to serve us to get there? I'm a huge nerd. Got a big inner nerdy science girl. So yeah, can geek out for hours on that.
Oh, wow. So, give me just a quick example. An example. Let's say, what's I don't know, what's your average client look like, or what does your average session look like? Oh my God, I'm over here. I'm trying to fix this issue with Jennie. so, what's your average client look like? What are they looking for? How does the process work?
I actually work with a lot of female entrepreneurs who are in their 40s, maybe early 50s, some a little bit younger. But when we start hitting what I like to call an interesting age, the body shifts. And here we are with entrepreneurs. We're wearing multiple hats, and we're in this space of go, go, go. And about 4 years ago, everybody's mantra was, hit it hard and work long hours, even as an entrepreneur. That's why you're doing this, is to build your kingdom, and all this stuff. And we're seeing more and more adrenal burnout. And so, women come to me tired, and they're like, but I've got all these hats. I have all these things I have to do. It's like, well, who told you you had to do them? Stop listening to the quote gurus. So they're women who are dealing with that burnout, but they're also looking for something more. I really believe that the midlife crisis is a real thing, but it doesn't have to look like I bought a red sports car and ran off with my secretary who's 30 years my junior. Yeah, it can if you want, but it tends to be this. Is this all there is in life? I feel called to do more, and I don't have any idea what the fuck that is.
Hey, yeah,
So I help
yeah.
people get square on that.
We have Jennie here. Speaking of
Hi,
square.
guys.
Speaking of square.
I'm more circle.
Speaking of shapes. Yeah, speaking of shapes, what all this is designed is to get you in good shape. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You almost sounded like you were describing me. Like something's wrong. I don't know what it is exactly, but this is what I think is gonna fix it. And it's something superficial surface, something that's a result of me just not having good information. And it helps to have someone come along to help me really identify it and set me on the right path.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And like you said, sometimes it is about what are our habits in the kitchen or with sleeping or whatever. And sometimes it goes deeper to an emotional, I'm going to call it dysfunction, often crap we've dragged from our childhood that has never been brought into the light of day and healed.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna introduce Jennie and bring in 1 second, but I just want to say I spoke to a person last night, and this person was, having the blah. I think it may be a seasonal, but anyway, they were like, and I was the kid who never hit puberty, and I was this, and it was just like going all the way back in time, and I was thinking. Damn, that's like 30 years ago. Are you seriously still dealing with that or holding on to that, dragging it along? And I think that's just a poor attitude to have mine, which is to judge somebody because they're still dealing with stuff from childhood. Who taught us how to process as kids or even as adults? So,
Can I let you in on a little secret?
sure.
The majority of us are carrying crap from our childhood. The thing is, for most of us, it's unconscious. It was imprinted, and we have no idea that's what's running our life.
So our listeners today, I want you to know you guys are really screwed up more than you really know.
Oh, God.
Not really. Maybe.
Just kidding.
Could be. Let's hope not. Let's hope that you can get a lot of healing from the guidance and the energy work that Jennie McDaniel brings to the table as well. Jennie, welcome. Jennie,
Thank
come lately.
you.
Glad you made it.
Better late than never.
That's right. Always right on time. She's a right on time psychic. And so, Jennie, if you could just briefly introduce yourself, and we can jump right into callers.
Well, first of all, I've done work with Naomi, and she's fantastic and very level-headed, but yet can reach you out into outer space. She's brilliant. I appreciate her, and I recommend everyone getting a hold of her and getting a session. I do some interesting work as well, some emotional self-help type work. I like to do shamanic journeys. I like to take you to your parallel existences and heal issues that we bring in. Yeah, we bring in stuff from childhood, and then in my practice, I help you clear stuff that you bring in from parallel lives or past lives. I feel like it's very effective and it's very helpful, this emotional healing. Again, like you said, Drew, who teaches us how to look at this? No one. We have to figure it out on our own, as well as find people that are interested in it, like us healers, or just books, or just whatever you can get your hands on. There's a lot of information out there. We can absolutely get into it. It's definitely just not going to be dished out in mainstream healing or teaching, i.e. hospitals and public schools. But we can absolutely, this is the day and age in information, and there's more healers coming to light than ever before. So get yourself some healing. I recommend it to everyone. And just because Naomi and myself sit here in this healer position doesn't mean that we also don't need healing and get healing. Everyone needs it. We don't sit anywhere different than anyone else. Just like you said, the best brain to have is to just accept people where they're at on their journey and not expect it to look like where we're at. It's just our ego thinking that it should be easy for them because maybe it was easy for us. Well, we need to, that's a okay boomer. Just set it down, okay? So what's easy for one?
Okay, boomer. Hey, I think I'm a boomer, but I don't know. There's so
you don't
many
act like one.
Things.
You might be in the middle. I don't know if you're a boomer. I think you might just be after that phase. Are you
a Gen Xer with me, Drew?
I'm a droomer. I don't even know. I don't know what the labels and the times are. I don't know. But whatever it is.
I think that the boomer generation ends around 60 or 65. So you might have gotten that tail end. Yeah.
Damn. You're just going to make me older than actually, you're going to make me as old as I am. So callers, one thing I want to say this to the listeners and the callers right now. You guys have, in my opinion, a leg up on most people, because you are, just through the act of calling or listening to this show, you are exhibiting open-mindedness that's just a little bit more than typical. Because I think typical people are just judgmental, like, I don't know about that, it's no good. And you guys are calling in, and even if you just have a curiosity, that's just, that's a good first step. So you guys are well on your way, and we're going to get you even further on your way, and we're going to take a caller. Are you guys ready for callers?
Sure.
Okay. Before we take our first caller, I want to encourage you listeners to tune in to our show on Sundays, and also all the shows on our network. It's Heart Over Ego Radio. Download a podcasting app on your phone and type in Heart Over Ego Radio and listen to all our shows. We have shows throughout the week. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. And go visit our website, everydaypsychicradio.com. If you visit our website, there's a cheat code that will help you jump to the front of the line, so you'll be for sure to get through today. And so let's get our first caller. Let's take this caller, 860. 860. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's your question? Hi.
Hi, this is Amala, and I'm from Connecticut. How are you all?
Good.
Wow.
Good. What's your name?
Good.
Amala?
It's Amala.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that name.
Mm-hmm.
So
Happy
what's your
Sunday
question?
to you guys.
Happy Sunday to you.
It's pouring rain over here in Connecticut, but anyway, so yeah, I have a question. I was this has been an on and off relationship, but it's like we grow apart, so to speak, and then we strengthen, and we grow like crazy, and then we come together, and then this person runs away because he's scared, and then it's been a year and a half of this. So I just was wondering if and it happened again, and it was Mercury in retrograde, all that stuff, and I was just wondering if you see him coming back to me, because I reached out to him saying I can't basically do this dance anymore. It's been a long time that we've been doing the dance thing. So.
Naomi, do you want me to start us off, or do you want to take us off first?
If you're getting something, go for it. I've got some questions.
Cool. I'm gonna go for it, and then I'll hand it over to you. You get a twofer today. You get two excellent healers giving you some insight. So right away, your spirit guides are coming forward. Your spirit guides are coming forward, and they're happy to communicate with you in this verbal way. They're saying that they're around you and they communicate with you, but they want to talk specifically about this partner that you're talking about. There's some quintessential signs in this twin flame connection. It's a very kitschy word. You don't have to use it, but it's very common for old soul types to start using words like soulmate and twin flame. They're saying this is very classic in that twin flame connection. So this old soul connection that you guys are want to be together, try it out, but he's the runner. So this means that in his space, there's things that could be healed. Now, you don't get to be the determiner of that, and I, as a psychic, don't get to be the determiner of that. He is absolutely the determiner of that, and what we see is you being ready now, and you've given him a year and a half and probably even longer potentially, and the back and forth is not doing anything for your root chakra, which women, we definitely want to heal our root chakra. We want to feel secure. It's one of the things that we're generally interested in. So they're saying you've given him plenty of time to show up. But what they're showing is that his ego has him, like you said, scared or afraid, or that commitment thing or whatever is really bothering him, something like that, and it's pulling him away. So what they're saying is you sat with him for a year and a half. He showed you his patterns. We don't see that changing unless he puts intense energy around healing those patterns. So we're saying what we would suggest you do, and you be the determiner of what you do, but this is a suggestion. They're saying, keep him on the back burner, meaning not in a negative way, but just being like, okay, I care for you. I'm hoping you heal. I can't be in control of what your ego chooses. I can't learn this for you. I can't do your part. Right. That's not an equal partner. So what they're saying is let him stew and learn and be, but then also open doors to invite other potentials in. I don't like to use the term twin flame by itself. I like to call it twin flame potential. Possibilities of excellent energies running into each other and getting a chance to set their egos down. Now, both have to set their egos down, not just one, both. And this is why it gets difficult, because our egos flare in intimate relationships. It triggers all kinds of stuff. So what they're saying is hold space for him in a loving way that he grows and moves, but don't have expectation that he's going to do it quick enough for you. They're saying open the door for other opportunities to pop in where they're ready right now, or, want to go at the speed that you're at, or aren't stumbling over big things like commitment. And again, that's not fixable. It just means, when do you want this to happen? Do you want to sit with this gentleman for 5 years and maybe still not get a commitment? Because they're saying that's the possibility. They're saying, again, love him and care from him from a distance, and be hopeful that he grows and moves, but then also move forward at your pace, running across other potentials. They're saying they're out there. They're saying you're a lovely partner. There's potentials out there. You just have to kind of move him to the back burner, which is difficult for women to do. It's difficult for people to do, to care for someone and set them aside just enough so they can continue moving forward. It's difficult. It's this life thing that we've done is not easy. I'm going to hand you over to Naomi, and she has a couple questions for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So nice to be connecting with you today. So thank you for calling in. I want to honor that, first of all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Question for you is, where else does this show up for you in your life? Where is this pattern showing up?
It's interesting. It's never about I think that growth is definitely an inside job. It's not about him being the runner. It's about me. And me, in my path, it's not about people running away from me. It's about me basically being clear of what I want. I grew up with it's okay for like with my parents, with my father to do whatever he wanted to do, and my mom would just, didn't basically have any boundaries. And I think with this, with this person, that's what I'm learning about me, is that it's like, what do I want? And I wasn't afraid in this year and a half or whatever this was, or this still is, or whatever you want to define it as, this past time, like 3 weeks ago, me saying, this is how I feel. And I don't apologize per se, because this is my truth, and I never did that before with anyone. It's just helping me be more solid within myself as well. So.
Great. So when you ask the question, will he come back to me, where are you feeling that in your body?
In my gut and my heart.
Okay, that makes sense then, because I was getting heart when you first asked the question. So what does it feel like? Can you describe the feeling?
It's like it's lighter. It's a light energy. Because I know his patterning. I know that this is what he does, and every time, whatever amount of time it takes, it just feels like we're closer together. And even when we're apart, it's just it's a very strange. I've never had this type of thing where you're apart and you still feel the supercharged connection, and it's crazy. I think that's what he scares him. It's very intense. Our energies together is very intense. There's no other way to describe it. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So in addition to, Jennie brought up the root chakra, one of the things I might encourage you to do is to, especially since you're feeling it in your gut, is really focusing just from a how do I help myself discern, because this is what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm hearing you incorrectly, is I hear, how do I discern what is right for me and best for me without cutting him off completely? And then how do I trust my gut in knowing what to do for myself and setting boundaries?
Right.
Okay. So from a Chinese medicine standpoint, you want to make sure that you stay grounded.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you want to support that earth system, and that's going to be the rooted vegetables. And that's why the fact that your stomach comes up doesn't surprise me. The other thing to look at, do you have a tendency, when you gravitate towards something snacky, what do you gravitate towards, salty, sweet, or fat?
Oh, definitely. I had the sweet thing. I'm into chocolate.
Okay. So through this process, when you're wanting to feel balanced, you're going to want to find something to do or gravitate towards instead. Sugar tends to cause an imbalance in our gallbladder. Our gallbladder in Chinese medicine is what, if we're feeling indecisive, tends to get out of balance. Or if it's out of balance, it makes us even more indecisive. So trusting your gut, and the word that keeps showing up is, what do you need to do? And it sounds like you've started this process. Is what do you need to do to honor yourself as you go through this, as you open the door to other possibilities without maybe completely closing that door, because it doesn't sound like you're quite ready for that.
No.
But what do you need to do to honor you through this process?
Yes. And I already know. I definitely, like in the last month, I've been nurturing myself. I'm into yoga. Yoga really helps me with grounding, all that good stuff. And aromatherapy, I've been doing that. I actually got a massage. I haven't had a massage, I think, in a year. So like things like that really help me, self-serve and self-care. I think that's important. So
you said, I know what to do. And as soon as you said that, I heard somebody helping say, then why aren't you doing it? So I'm just passing that along, not me. Don't
kill the messenger.
It wasn't me either.
It wasn't me. So
it was gonna be me. But you
there you go. Bunch. Well, somebody who's here helping you, and I'm sure that they are doing it with love. Just sometimes our relatives and or guides sometimes get a little straightforward.
Yeah, and we hope that resonated with you. and we appreciate you calling in today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was great. That was it's so cool. I say it a zillion times a day. Not really, but sometimes the call's not for me, but what's being said, it makes sense to me, and I could see how some things can be applied in my life. So if you're listening and some of that just kind of rings bells or resonates with you, feel free to, apply what applies. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm so profound. So we have a plethora of callers just lined up waiting to connect with you ladies today, and I'm not gonna dilly-dally around. I'm gonna get right into it. And we also have chatters in the chat room. Shout out to Carla. Shout out to Leela. Shout out to Sekhmet. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I think I did my best. And Rose Quartz. So let's get another caller in here really quickly. Let's go with the number 941. And we're going to try to keep our calls to like 5 minutes a pop or 7 minutes if we feel real generous. But, if you visit our website, everydaypsychicradio.com, you can get more information on how to get an extended reading today, and also to put yourself at the front of the line, because everybody might not get through today. But if you really, really want to, the directions are online at everydaypsychicradio.com. So the caller from 941. 941, we need your name, your location, and what are you calling about?
Okay, my name is Carla. I'm calling from Florida. And my question is, I just got a new office. I moved in Monday for my business. I do holistic therapies, massage, readings, and teaching and all that. And I was wondering, what do you see coming? How do you think I'm going to fit in there? Because it's with a whole bunch of more mental health workers and all that kind of stuff. And how do you see me thriving there, or how things will be going?
Naomi, do you want to start us off, or shall I start?
I'm going to start real quick. One of the things that I saw, it was like I was looking down on the office, and there's something on the left-hand side. Now, it feels like it's across the room from the door, but it feels like you might simply need to clean out whoever was there.
Okay.
So I know sometimes in public places, smudging is not really recommended. What you can do is you can steep some sage in water and then soak a rag in it and wipe everything down. That would be my recommendation, because there's some that will help clear it and make it yours. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent advice. Yeah, and if you even want to go even further, do the wiping down of the sage with the rag, and then also get a spritz bottle with some essential oils, the sage, and some distilled water or some spring water, whatever you want to use, and you can spritz the space. But I'm getting some interesting hits on your collective there, the other practitioners, the other mental health or medical, or however you described it. So this is what they're just having me. This is what they're leading me to tell you. And again, your spirit guides are being very helpful in this translation. They're saying she's wildly intuitive. But what they're saying is, yes, you're going to be different. So as long as you know that there's just going to be that, like they practice if we were to look at it like their religion, they're Jewish and you're Christian, and that's just an example, but it's just different, but there's some
totally
similarities.
Understand,
So what they're saying is, as long as you're cool with, them not, jumping right on board with everything you do, then we're fine. And vice versa, as long as their egos can stay in a space where they don't try to lure you into like science or something like that, even though you may play in science, but they're just saying, just as long as you know that there is going to be a difference. And what they want you to know is you're really going to lead by example, because a lot of medical practitioners, some of them will say, are indoctrinated, and they just haven't been exposed to alternative healings. They might have even been poo-pooed in school and even woo-wooed outside of school. So what they're saying saying is you're going to lead by example. So I'm getting the big energy of Jesus consciousness coming in and being like, well, you just lead by example, and you do it from your heart, and you do it with little expectation as you can, and you do it heartfully, and you do it mindfully, and then you're doing your job, and you're breaking down a lot of karmas by doing that, because there has been a few lives where you've been persecuted or called a heretic or shunned or whatever for your beliefs. So we're just wiping all that away so we can bring forward your strengths, which are healing and showing people that it can be done, as well as setting a good example. And the proof is in the punch. They're saying that those medical workers will be like, well, why is she so damn happy? Well, she must be doing something. And if their ego can sit down enough, they'll start to drink or whatever, some of the light and lightness that you'll bring.
Yeah, they do. Some of them do actually. Some psychiatrists there that are there do readings and everything. So they're all into what I do. So
excellent.
But the only,
because I'm sorry.
Go on.
They were just saying that yes. Go ahead.
No, you go. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Well, they were just saying that yes, indeed, their skills may line up with like yours a bit, but what they're saying is indeed there is going to be just a little touch of a difference, meaning a differentiation of where they get their knowledge and where yours come from, and again that can merge beautifully, and it will because what they showed right away is this is going to be a successful space, and you'll also even radiate the light around you. So excellent for abundance, financial, as well as excellent for just sharing the energy amongst coworkers. But absolutely, you're going to set the stage. And I think that your spirit guides are saying she's humble, Jennie. She's not going to totally see it. And I'm like, okay, this is great, because what they're saying is you'll just make more of an impression than you could imagine, even if they work directly in your field. Your impression space is going to be high. So I'm happy you incarnated, because in some of my spiritual understandings, you pick the womb you come out of and you pick the time frame continuum. I'm glad you chose to come show up where we're playing, because like all of us here, we're here to learn and grow, but also to bring awareness and to set the stage and to be the light. And thank you for showing up in this incarnation to do the work, not only personal, but public and for the people. We appreciate you for calling. Do you have any other questions?
The only thing is, on that space, I mean, I've been in bad rental spaces, and I didn't want anything bad. But the same day I started on Monday, so did a receptionist who has a lot of issues. She even said she had a lot of mental issues. And she has said stuff to me that was inappropriate, and also trying to psychoanalyze me, and she's only a receptionist. And she's making comments to the patients really bad, trying to psychoanalyze.
This is something they're saying go to management, because normally I would say, I might say something like just work with your boundaries with her and stuff like that. But what this looks like is she doesn't have any boundaries. It has nothing to do with your boundaries. She isn't having any. So what they're saying is, go to management and discuss this, because they're going to want to know what's going on in the front of the house where they can't see. So they're just suggesting going to upper management or someone whoever hires her, who's ever paying the paycheck or whatever, however that goes. The owner, go to them and be very tactful and heartful. And they're saying just kind of go talk to somebody about that, because it needs to be taken care of, and it's something that you're not going to be able to manage because you don't pay the paycheck, So thank you for calling in today. We appreciate you. We're here every Sunday. Noon Pacific and 3 Eastern, everyone. We're here every Sunday. Check us out.
Appreciate you, Carla. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I like that one. Yep, I like that one. It was just so wise. I was gonna say, hey, grab her by the collar and let her know who you be. That's that might not be the ideal approach. So I like the way you said, let the people who are responsible for handling that, let them handle that. And
that's our job. It's nice that people offer us the space to do our work in and do our healing in, and it's it's wonderful that they're able to foot the bill so that we can come in and practice. And a little kickback for the owner doing that work would be to let them know what's going on the floor, so to speak, in the workings, because they may have other jobs and they're just footing the bill, which happens quite often. They're called a money backer or the money in the situation, and they can't be having eyes on all parts. So it's kind of up to the people who are in the collective, i.e. the other healers, or I don't know if they rent the space or if it's a job. I don't know exactly how it goes, but we're the eyes of that place. And you don't have to tattle on every little thing, but something big like this where someone who's uninformed and untrained giving medical advice up at the register, so to speak, it's not acceptable. So the management wants to know about that. That's our responsibility. And again, we don't have to go tattling. We just say, hey, just so you know, I don't think that's good for business, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to either. So I just want to let you know what's going on. And then you go through the process of letting someone go who it didn't work out. It happens all the time in work.
Yeah, but the hang up or the other side of that, the concern, I imagine, would be, well, what if I say something and the manager's like, hey, too bad, suck it up. That's my cousin. Then now what do you got to do? What do you do?
And that happens. And then that's usually where people build up that solar plexus strength and say, all right, who wants to go in on a 3-room suite, $1,000, $300 each. Let's make it happen. That's where that comes from.
Right. That is the path.
When the management sucks, you unfold your own path. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the path clearly unfolding for you. But a lot of times, that fear says, I don't want to move. I want to be here. So I love that. I think that went really well. And there's so many calls. I'm looking at all these callers, and I'm like, can we even talk in between calls? Not really, huh? So let's get another one. I feel like I'm at work. Let's get another one. Looks like that's a familiar number. Let's do this one. Yeah. Okay. 510 area code. Name, location, and question or comment.
Aaron in California.
Hey, Aaron from California.
How are you?
Good. How are you? What's your comment or question for today?
I have a quick question. What's happening in my life at this moment?
Well, I'm not telepathic, and I don't do any remote viewing. So I do past life reading as well as energetic healing, and then I'm going to let Naomi explain what she does. But it gets confusing. Psychic, we think you should just know all at all times. That is a certain level of skill that's called remote viewing, and I just happen to not do it. So if you have a specific question, like is her health okay, or is she going to get a job, or is she even in the room with you? Do you want to know if she's in another space? I don't do the remote healing. Naomi, are you getting any hits on what his wife is doing at this exact moment? Do you do any of that remote viewing?
I don't know if he said wife or life.
I heard life.
No,
I heard
life.
life and L.
Life.
Life, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, what's my life? What's going on in his life right now?
Oh, better answer, or better question, I should say. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Is she like sitting next to you or something? So your life, what is your life doing right now? Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up so I can get on the right track here. Naomi, do you want to start us off, or do you want me to?
You take this one away.
Let's just take a look here, because I'm going to have to bring in your spirit guides. And they're saying, they're saying the reason he's bringing this question up is because he's at some sort of crossroads. And they're not giving me tons of information, but let me just take a look here to see if I can hash anything out here. So what they're saying is you're one of the so you're one of the many, we'll call it, that come in with a lot of different skills. So they're showing a level of old soulness, healer, teacher, seeker. So they're saying when you have a lot of potential, it can get a little confusing and it gets a little distorted. But what they're saying is we only have a few minutes to look at this right now. So, of course, you can schedule a whole hour and we can hash it out for a whole hour. But what they're saying is this crossroads, they're saying there's really not a ton of wrong answers here. So they're saying it looks like growth on both angles. And again, I'm just getting basic ideas through this right now. But what they're saying is your level of skill is high enough and your competency is high enough that it looks like the strategy is coming in. So what is going on in your life, or what is happening in your life right now? I'm not getting tons and tons of details, but it does look like there's a crossroads, and it looks like you're being, I don't know, what are you into? What is your passion? What do you do? What is it?
Primarily hoodoo, eclectic practices.
Yeah, because I was seeing spirituality. I was
in
a million different ways. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but in my material,
Mhm.
yeah, my material life is like almost like it looks like it's something that's completely different.
Mhm.
It looks like it's something completely different from my regular life. Like it's very
Mhm.
human, and it's like at a point to where like I'm trying to manifest things, and I guess I've watched so much TV. Huh? Pardon?
Nothing. We didn't say anything.
Hello?
That was someone else.
Oh, yeah, I was
let
watching so much
me-
TV. You know, you watch Witch and all that stuff, and they just snap their fingers, and all these things start happening. And I see other what you call warlocks or witches, and they can make things manifest. And I don't know how long they've been practicing or what they use, but just from the outside looking in at them, it just seems like they have they show like little effort to get things. For me, it just takes like a whole lot, and it's kind of like confusing. So.
Very interesting. I went to New Orleans, and I got to take a glance at some hoodoo and voodoo. It's very interesting, nonetheless. I really enjoyed being educated on that. But absolutely, let's take a deeper look here. Thank you for that. So this is a very your spirit guides are being very they're even being smug, a little bit smug. They're saying, "Tell them, Jennie, just lay it on them." And I'm like, "All right." So they're saying when you do these snap of the finger manifestations, it's not easy. They're saying your ego is seeing the end result of decades of practice. So they're saying we're just reminding you that just because you come in with lots of experience from past lives doesn't mean that, again, you can snap the finger and make it happen. They're saying you could, if you get out of that expectation space and continue growing with heart energy, meaning more growth. They're saying, and then some people who do this snap of the finger manifestation, they're kind of doing a little bit of what Jesus did, which was kind of shifting timelines a little bit. So they're saying it's hard to describe it all in words, how this alchemy or magic happens, but they're saying just continue practicing and having more humility in it, because they're saying that it looks easy, I should be able to do it, is just blocking the flow of learning more and more that does end up opening up that skill. Naomi, are you picking up anything on this interesting read?
Yeah, part of what I'm getting is there may be an imbalance in the giving, between the giving and the receiving for you, and so just asking you to take a look at where that's happening and what do you need to do to bring the giving and the receiving into balance a little bit better.
That is an interesting thing to ponder. And because we do have limited time, if you guys we have like 1 more minute that we can allocate for Aaron.
What do you got for him, Drew? What do you get for him? Yeah.
Me, Aaron, I'm Drew.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you,
Hello.
I had a really similar question, because when I was little, I know, like, I just had vivid recollection of being able to levitate, and I was like, as I grew up, I was like, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? And it was told to me that it's probably memories from past lives, but it's like I really know I can do it, so I really have to just reset and get a different understanding of my approach instead of the expectation, because the expectation is like I can do it, so why aren't I doing it? So I'm just saying that I can relate to you totally, but I do appreciate you calling in, and I encourage you to call in again in the future, and thank you for listening to our show. Sorry we only have so much time.
Okay.
But thank you.
Sorry I misheard
you
you at the beginning. Sorry about that.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's such good lessons there, Drew, that whole expectation space. I remember even having a call with you 8 years ago when I first met you, Drew, and you were like, I think I might have even been the one that was telling you the memories of the levitation, and indeed you can do it in this lifetime, but the memories are so vivid for clairvoyants and intuitives like us that we feel like we should be able to do it here. And this is the kicker. Just because we incarnate as humanoids doesn't mean we do it in this dimension. We often incarnate in other dimensions with lesser gravity. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know all the science behind it. But when I look at these parallel or past lives where we're doing a lot of this telepathy, telekinetic levitation stuff, absolutely it's available here. It's just harder because our gravity in a lot of these incarnations, we are incarnating in a place with just what I would consider lighter gravity, easier to move things literally with our minds. So it's fun to visit those parallel lives because it's like watching a science fiction movie, and then my spirit guides remind me it can be done here. It just takes a lot of practice and intention and humility because, again, a lot of the masters don't become masters till they're 60. That's just sometimes how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a kid, it's like you're more pure. Like you're not, I mean, like I wasn't as bogged down with all this programming and everybody teaching me what my limits are. And so now, you know, because I remember being a kid here doing it. And it's like, did that really happen? I did a lot of drugs in the 90s, so I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, you were the one that told me, and it's important to manage expectations across the board. You know, we look for a soulmate, and then we define what that it looks like and how it's going to happen and everything, and we limit ourselves. So, just to manage expectations, I might be talking about levitation, but somebody else might be thinking, you know, my soulmate or success in life. It's whatever it is. Let's be open. Let's expand. So. Did I make that sound out loud? Sorry. Just on a quick side note, I looked on this website today, and it said the top 6 relationship questions that psychics get asked most often. And I'm just going to throw them out there, and you guys tell me if you think this is accurate or not, because it's just from a random website. Number 1, and listeners, if this is you, it's okay, because this is the top 6 that psychics get asked all the time, allegedly. Number 1, will I meet my soulmate? Number 2, is my spouse cheating on me? Number 3, will my affair partner leave their spouse for me? We've had that caller call in a lot of times. Number 4, how can I get this person to like or love me back? Number 5, is my divorce or breakup a failure at love? And number 5, can I fix an unresolved issue with a loved one who has passed on? Do those sound like about accurate?
I get those all the time. Yeah, I've never gotten how do we connect the relationship after the family member or loved one has passed. That one's cool, and I like that one. Mm-hmm. You get that one, Naomi?
Yeah, more my half side, but yeah, we get that one. So 1, 4, and 6 are ones that I've gotten. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I went further and I wrote my top 6 psychic questions. Will you indulge me, guys?
Yeah.
6, my top 6 that I would ask. How can I do something not smart and still get smart results? Number 2, I don't want to accept reality. So how can I make my fantasy become truth? Number 3, so far am I doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, it's not really me. So how can I get others to change and do what they need to be doing so that I can be happy? Number 4, I want to achieve something, but I'm afraid and I won't take action. So how can I make it happen without moving a muscle? Number 5, I love someone who's not good for me, but I know they have a good heart. So how can I lower my standards?
Oh, God.
Number 6, my child makes bad decisions. How can I get them to change? Because I do not want to accept it. Oh, I had an extra one, a bonus one. I love someone who doesn't love me, but I want to keep the faith. When will they come around, even though they just got married to somebody yesterday? So do these sound like questions that you guys get asked ever?
A little bit. I mean, some of that rings true in my readings. I'll often get how can I make him love me? How can I get him back? And I have to retract their thinking with them and bring it back to neutral and say, do you ultimately want a partner you have to force to love you? No. Your higher self is going to say no every time. It's never beneficial. I mean, it might be on some weird occasion, but it's easy to get stuck in those emotion spaces and want to make choices that aren't healthy, such as changing ourselves to sustain other people or to change other people to sustain ourselves. That's our ego talking. And I usually just have to educate people on that, their ego, ultimately. How about you, Naomi?
I've gotten more of those from coaching clients than people asking me for a psychic reading type of thing, up until you hit the kid question. After that, no. You are the boss of the house. I believe in duct tape and pull ties. Not really with kids, but I grew up with you do what you're told, which is why I have plants, because they do what they're told. And I go play with other people's kids in the backyard with a bucket on my head and a shovel in my hand, having sword fights, and then I go home. But up until that, most of those are questions that, to me, it's like, oh, that one could use some timeline therapy. Okay. Mm-hmm. That question just needs a coaching reframe. So it's interesting because your 1 through 5, I didn't really see as psychic questions. Those are just, let's do some coaching and dig into what's there.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think coaching is, I think everybody should have coaching. Everybody should have coaching. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I think coaching should be like a normal part of society where it's just like, hey, you got a coach? Sure, I do. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because all we get taught is like stuff and, kind of useless stuff in school. So much stuff we get taught in school, we could kind of replace it with some, how to be healthy and have good relationships, in my opinion.
Well, there's always a next level that pretty much everyone is working towards going to for themselves, wherever that they're at in life. And a coach helps you see the forest for the trees. That's all.
Yeah. And I appreciate you guys both do coaching, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So newsflash, they both do coaching. And since we're on that subject, as a listener, how can I get in touch with you guys after the show, beyond the show? Is there like special email or anything like that? Let's start with you, Naomi.
Sure, absolutely. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/sunflowersage, or you can just pop me an email at coachnaomicalderon@gmail.com.
Excellent. And you can find me on Facebook, Jennie, JENNIE, McDaniel 2. And you can also email me at heartoverego@gmail.com.
Well, there you have it. And let's take our halftime commercial. It's 1 minute, then we'll go rapid fire and knock out these remaining whole bunch of callers. And don't forget, everydaypsychicradio.com offers you a way to jump ahead of the line and get that little extra attention that you so desire, if you so desire. Here's our quick commercial, and we'll be right back. What if you could change your life? What if you could raise your vibrations? What if you could just exude positivity? Well, sometimes all you need is just a little bit of guidance to show you the way. This is Heart Over Ego Radio, a network of shows designed to do exactly that, to help improve the quality of your life, mind, body, and spirit. On Sundays, we have the Everyday Psychic Show. Mondays, the Alchemy Sisters. Tuesdays, Radical Spirituality. Wednesdays, Know Thyself. Thursdays, Transcending Love. And Fridays, Rain Radio. All unique shows, all with the common purpose of raising your vibrations and taking you higher. Join us on Facebook, blogtalkradio.com. Heart Over Ego Radio. Yeah, so groovy. It's such a groovy day to be alive. Hopefully you're getting everything that you so desire, I guess, as long as it's healthy. We're back. It's Everyday Psychic Radio. I'm Drew Pillow, and we are here in the virtual studio with Jennie McDaniel and Naomi Calderon, Naomi C. And
that works.
You can find her on Facebook by typing in, what was it again?
You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/sunflowersage.
Flower Sage, yeah. And also download a podcasting app on your phone and type in Heart Over Ego Radio, and you can listen to all our shows throughout the week. You also have a show on this network, Naomi. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm over on Rain Radio with Leela Simmons, Leela Sage. We have juicy conversations all about really owning your power and being the sovereign in your own life.
And who doesn't want that?
Right?
I do. So there you have it. Do that, and we appreciate you. And let's go to the callers. I know you guys have had enough of me for today, so let's just go get some callers. 301 area code, name, location, and question or comment, please. 307 area code. Are you there? Going once, going twice. Back in the hold you go. Sorry about that. Let's go with 407. 407. Are you ready?
I'm ready indeed.
Good. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your question or comment?
My name is Lori. I'm calling from Florida. And my question is if you could give me any kind of enlightenment regarding finance, career and finance. Anything, do you see anything opening up for me, or where I should place my efforts and energy?
Naomi, do you want to start us off, or shall I start?
You go.
Cool. Thank you for calling, Lori from Florida. Spirit is going to have me answer the question, but they're not allowing me to answer the question until I do some energy work on you. So they're saying this is most important. And again, the human ego has a different idea what that is, but Spirit generally knows the cue. So we're just going to go with this. And what they're saying is, we're kind of starting in your aura and neutralizing the energy because there's so much anxiety and stress. It's even closing up your throat chakra and doing some limiting action. So they're saying to get to point B, we have to really realize what point A is so we can launch ourselves out. So what we're doing is we're clearing some anxiety. We're not able to clear it all. That's part of your gig here too, is to help neutralize and to make the energy cohesive, because what they're saying is absolutely there's some chances for upgrade, more success, more finances, more work. They're saying there is that out there. They're lighting up lights all around you of the availability. I can't give you exact areas to put your energy. This is how you start to shovel your path and steer yourself. They're saying, what are you interested? See what's available. Put yourself out there. If you're not putting out tons of resumes, go ahead and start doing that, because they're saying there's something going on with your solar plexus too, and this is nothing to be afraid of. It's just naturally how our body just responds to stresses and anxieties in life. They're saying your solar plexus looks a little small too, so we're just popping that open a little bit more and putting in some white light, because they're saying in order to move past this stumbling block that you have, it's going to take an absorbent amount of self-confidence. And we're not talking cocky. We're talking healthy self-awareness and self-love. And they're saying this is utmost. They're saying these energies will bring you more of that financial security, career movement, whatever you're looking for. So they're saying keep an eye out, do all the typical things that you do to move into more and better, putting resumes in, keeping the ear out for what's going on. They're saying that's just how it's done in your guys' time frame continuum or your dimension, however you want to say it. But they're saying what's real important is you start changing your frequency, because the universe is giving you back a lot more of what you are. And so they're saying we see you being a light being, but right now there's a lot of anxiety and stress. And again, that's from living life. It's a catch-22. We know full well when we incarnate what is here and what this looks like. Part of your karma is, again, to start neutralizing the anxiety and stresses around you so that you can bring in more of what you want. And so I'm going to do some energy work while Naomi takes a look here.
So one of the things that was coming up when you first were asking the question is, so solar plexus doesn't surprise me, is heart. And with the anxiety, it's the heart and spleen connection. So we want to take a look at how do you open up that heart. Do you do yoga at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. So you can always take like a bathroom towel and roll it up and lay on it so that the towel is the length of your spine, and simply open up your arms and lay on the floor that way. Start small, 5-10 minutes maybe. But start opening up that heart chakra, and the energetic work Jennie's doing is going to help a lot with that too. And then we want to, how it's showing up is bathe, which is a weird word for the spleen system to me, but that's what's showing up. Your spleen system to help with the anxiety piece. That in Chinese medicine, that's going to help. It's the spleen and stomach system that really help keep you grounded. And when there's an imbalance there, that's when the anxiety can show up. anxiety and worry. It's a little different energy than the fear, but there's a connection with the heart and the spleen. So we want to we want to get the two of them working together. Are you? What's the work that you want to do that makes your soul sing that you're avoiding?
I'm a creative, so I like talking, writing. I basically like exhorting other people, but I have so much fun with it, doing it with either writing, promoting, advertising. You know, I've made all kinds of little gimmicks and little jingles with my own first and last name, but I can do that for just about anybody, and it's fun. It's not even work, so that's what I like doing.
Perfect. So I think that creative energy and is something to tap into, and there's a trust. What's coming up is there's a trust factor in, and I think that's the confidence piece Jennie was talking about, trusting yourself and your gifts. So getting and staying grounded before you start working on these projects is going to help. But I would keep opening that heart and allowing that creativity, but also the life and the energy of all of those projects to flow. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yes, indeed. Indeed it does. Just makes, I think you're saying go for it, because I already know it's there. It's not a challenge. It's just basically go for it, and it'll come.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And we appreciate you, Lori. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you. Oh, that was
That was the most beautiful call yet.
I love the laying on the towel thing, Naomi. I'm a body worker. I've been doing massage for 17 years, and that is something that I absolutely tell people to do. Just take a towel, roll it up, lay it along your spine, lay back on it. Gravity and your body weight will kind of pull your heart open, and it will kind of start to move energy around your spine. If you want to even take it further, you can get a foam roller, lay it horizontal, and lay the middle of your back across it, and that will even adjust you. That's a little more intense of a step up. So all of those are free things you can do in your living room to connect the physical with the spiritual, and then just bringing in some yin energy, because you kind of have to relax to do those things. So brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh, you guys are, the people in your lives are so lucky. They get to have you and all your wisdom on hand at all times.
There's a thing of too much. I've heard I'm a bit much, but yes, I could probably gets tiring after a while, but I never get bored of it.
All my girlfriend can do is cook bacon. So let's go ahead and get another caller. Let's get this caller from 518. Caller, what's your name, location, question, comment?
Linda, I'm calling from Albany, New York.
Great.
And I would like to know, how you doing? I just heard the last part, and I was like, I didn't hear the whole thing. I was on. But anyway, thank you for taking my call. And I would like to know, which angel am I supposed to be working with?
Mm-hmm. All right, Linda. Well, this is where you're going to get a couple different answers from several different. You're going to get a lot of different answers from a lot of different psychics with this, because we all have kind of different views and ideas. But just simply through my perspective, I'll just give you the information I'm getting to give you. And so, what your spirit guides and my spirit guides are leading me to tell you is, it's not so important that it's one angel that you're supposed to be working with. It's very normal as a human to think, well, there's one and that's the one I stick with, and that's, how we do things here. But they're saying it's more of working with your higher self and your spirit guides. And if some essences come through and want to hold space with you, then that's great. And then you start to discern their energy. So supposed to, you can do whatever you want, really, you have free will, but they're saying there's many ways in which you can do it. And it's easy for the human to get hung up on which one, how to exactly, things like that. Again, it's very normal. But what they're saying is open that up a bit. And if you want, you can bring in a lot of different energies to channel or look at, because they're saying you are, again, highly, you've even stated which angel should I work with, stating in just off of that you are a highly intuitive individual, and your spirit guides and my spirit guides are backing it up, saying you have lots of past lives where you've done my job and energy worker and Naomi's job and all kinds of healing across the board. So they're saying you're very skillful in that. So they're saying, if you want to do yourself a favor, just open it up a bit more, and then you won't be beating yourself over the head. Because I often get from people, what is my spirit guide's name? Well, names don't exist. English doesn't exist. Hell, it's frequencies, and we're translating it best we can. So when we try to get real intense details, it can get a little distorted because our ego gets involved a little too heavy sometimes. So what they're saying is open it up. If a certain angel presents itself to you and you're just like, hey, this is Raphael, this is Archangel Raphael, this is the one I'm working with, this is the one I feel comfortable with, they're saying that's great, but just know that could change throughout a lifetime, because they're saying archangels are an archetype. There are some essences of certain ones that work specifically in the archangel space, but they're saying it's a big variety and people can come and go from that job and then on physical. So they're saying open it up a bit and you'll just bring in so much more. Naomi, are you getting anything?
I'm just getting your energy on the right side is absolutely beautiful. It's open, it's wide, it's cool, it's calming. And so really what I'm getting a feeling of is you've got this, and which kind of goes along with Jennie's, it doesn't matter.
You're doing it. She's just doing it.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
All right.
You did it. Yeah, you got through on this long list of callers.
I'm tickling all over myself.
Oh, good.
That's very
Good.
encouraging. Very encouraging. Thank you. I'm going to
Thank you for calling.
Thank
That's
you.
right. We appreciate you, Linda. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate.
The second half is just so much more. Let's take this caller from 303. 303, that's a cool looking area code. 303-515. What's your name and location and question?
Yeah, I do have a cool looking area code. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
It's Colorado.
Yeah.
It's a Colorado area code.
Yeah,
That's what
it's my
thought.
area code.
It's a Colorado number, but I'm no longer in Colorado. I just liked my phone number so much that I kept it when I moved.
There you go.
You know,
What's your name?
yeah. My name's Allison, and I'm in Arizona.
Allison in Arizona.
Arizona. What do you got for us today?
Do you want a really specific question, or can I just ask what maybe what the next few months, or 2020 is just around the corner. If there's anything that jumps out around this whole new decade, and it's going to be a lot of important decisions I need to be making in the coming year. So it's a significant year for sure for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, just because we only have a certain amount of time, we can just read off the top. And if you want a more specific angle, you can, of course, schedule time up.
Moving.
Moving.
Let's go with moving. If you want a specific area, let's go with moving.
Okay.
Yeah, I can narrow it down for you.
Well, seeing how you have a Colorado number and you are in Arizona, you're no stranger to moving. So I'm going to say that you have some gypsy in you, so to speak. You can go ahead and loft yourself into other places. And they're saying the sky's the limit, really, with you. You have a lot. You say you have a lot coming up and you're going to be making a lot of decisions. I'm seeing these being excellent life choices that you've made to get to these places to make these decisions. I'm seeing that you've worked your way through and you're doing a lot of work, they're saying. So they're really proud of you, throwing confetti. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back. It's okay to do that. We're always driving for that next manifestation, which is cool and keeps us going. But it's always nice to stop and be like, okay, I've gotten myself this far. Now where am I lofting myself? So they're saying you've got free will and you've got choices. But yes, you could be very happy in many parts of the country, including other countries if you wanted to. So the sky's the limit in that space. Then we have to chisel it back and say, where do I want to live? Let's, if you have to be practical, if there's, X amount of money that you can spend, you can go ahead and say, where is it? I like it, but it's a little more affordable. Or if money's not an option, hell, let's go live in France for a year. They're saying, go ahead and work with what you got. But yeah, you can absolutely move and shake and be other places, but you can also make it work in Arizona, they're saying. So I'm going to pass you over to Heidi and see what she's picking up.
Or Heidi.
Sorry, not Heidi, Naomi.
Okay, Heidi's my sister. I'll take it.
Is it?
Yeah.
We just had Heidi on last week. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. So I'm getting that there's some sort of significance about March. I'm not getting what that significance is. For me, looking at it from a Chinese medicine standpoint, the next few months, we're in winter, which is a time to go quiet and a time to go within and a time to really create the picture of what's next for us if we're living from a seasonal aspect. And I just kept getting for you March. And it feels more like month more than March forward, young woman, So doesn't
right.
mean don't
that's my
or anything.
That's my birthday month. That's my birthday
got it.
month.
Okay. So maybe that's your birthday present to yourself. So maybe that's your birthday present to yourself, is really focusing on where do you want to be. Like you said, we're in a new decade. You're going to be in a new year. Where do you want to spend that? Where do you want to celebrate that? Where do you want to celebrate that aspect and that piece of you and that piece of this next phase of your life? What would nurture your soul to go and be and create there?
Yeah. I've been already kind of doing a lot of that inner research and also external research, because this is going to be a really significant move. I already I already have a couple places I'm kind of have as candidate areas, but I actually need to go there and see how they feel. What the problem for me is my health issues have really been a great roadblock for me this year, and they're not going to go away anytime real fast, real soon. So it's just a matter of I just don't even have the energy at this point to get up and go look at these places that I have, on my consideration list. Yeah, and it's just really frustrating.
So it's actually a really perfect thing. Not that you have health issues, so please hear me. Not that part.
No.
However, the season that we are in, we are coming into the most yin time of the year. That is the time when it is the most quiet. We are called to go, those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, are called to go even deeper and go within. And my guess is there is a yin depletion for you, a yin deficiency. There may also be a yang deficiency. And I'm not an acupuncturist. I don't play one on TV. So please go see one if you want to know for sure. And so with that, given the season we're in, focusing on the blood red, the black, the dark purple foods to help really support your body in re-energizing would help you to go in and less about doing the research and going in. And I hear more restoring when you're going inward right now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Beautiful advice.
Right. No, I'm definitely I've cleaned up my diet quite a lot. A lot of my health issues or structural or former injuries. I mean, there's a long backstory to all of this. These are actual injuries that are being they're getting like actual treatment, from a practitioner. But these are things that aren't. I mean, they're not internal, and I know what you're talking about because I've actually studied Chinese medicine and that kind of stuff. So I'm right on that same page. In fact, I kind of helped write that book. But this is physical. This is actually physical stuff that you can see in X-rays and all that kind of stuff. So it's structural.
Right.
It's not just internal organ kind of stuff that I know exactly what you're talking about there. So
right. And that the structural takes a toll on our organs because anytime we are rehabbing, it does starts to deplete the energy, right? So you know exactly what you need to do for you in that respect, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for calling.
Definitely appreciate you, Allison.
Thank you both.
From Arizona, Colorado.
And who knows where next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arizona, Colorado, Mars. Let's take this caller from this number. They've been waiting the longest ever. 423. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, yay, I'm so excited. My name's Kate. I'm calling from Chattanooga. And Jennie, this is Kate from Chattanooga.
Kate, your ears must have been ringing. Your ears must have been ringing because I just did a session with Coughlin yesterday, and she brought you up.
Oh, no kidding.
Is this
Oh,
Kate Rittenberg? Yeah.
Yeah, Kate Rittenberry. It is. Yeah.
Rittenberry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was so funny. Just yesterday, I got a call from a Chattanooga client, Coughlin, and she's like, "I'm in Albuquerque. My daughter's checking the school here. Can you come give me a massage?" So I just bop right over with my massage table, give her a 2-hour massage, and we do a massive reading for her and her kids. And she goes, have you talked to Kate lately? It's crazy. It was just yesterday, and here you are calling in on my show for the first time the day after you're mentioned. Look at how the universe works.
I know. That's so funny. And I was just closing my eyes, putting it out there. I'm like, just say 423. Just say 423 right now. And you did.
What do you got for us, Kate?
So,
what do you want us to look at for you? You got some healers on the line here.
Oh my gosh. So so much is happening. And I'll just fill you in. I'm moving forward with my divorce, and that's almost finalized. And I'm just really looking for guidance on how to, I'm just sort of dealing with the grief and the anger and trying not to have resentment and then moving forward, with my future. And, I've talked to you about twin flame and that's moving forward as well. And so I just looking for some guidance and if I'm on the right path and how to move forward with letting go of some of the resentment.
Excellent. Thank you for calling today. I got some things for you. I'm going to give you a couple minutes of my information. I want to hand you over to Naomi because she's got some gems about this kind of stuff too. She's wildly talented. So for you, what they're saying is, yes, we see that you have chosen to go ahead and end the marriage. They're saying we've told you this before, you put plenty of time to see if he was going to move forward and show up, and then you said, okay, I have good boundaries. It's either now or never, and you walked away, which they're saying is still the right choice. Of course, learning and lessons are going to continue, and you're going to continue moving through, processing this grief and what have you. But what they're saying is, we only have a minute here, and we'll absolutely get on the phone later if you want to, but they're saying alchemize, alchemize, alchemize. So they're saying consider alchemizing the resentment into at least neutral energy. So they're saying if you want to think more clearly and you want to alleviate and get freedom from these heavy energies like guilt and resentment and stuff, they're saying this is the time to alchemize the resentment. So when it comes in, when you start to actually feel resentment, they're saying step above it, recognize it as actual poison for your body and steering you in a way that you don't want to go, and also praying for what you don't want. They're saying when we start to take control, we can, not 100% of the time, but when we start to make an attempt to take control of our thoughts and again, feel them, but then hold them in a space of responsibility. So when the resentment comes in, you say, how is this helping me? It's not. Is it benefiting anyone? No. Is it making the situation better? No. Is it even making it worse? Yes. So they're saying recognizing what it is for what it's worth. And then you get to take some of that power away from some of that resentment. And then you can start manipulating it more easily, which is no, like a screaming toddler. No, we're going to go outside. If you're going to throw a fit, you don't get to just flail about and ruin everyone's day. They're saying you practice this in this space, it'll show up in every part of your life. So they're saying alchemy, it's a big deal. Energy alchemy, starting to take deep responsibility of alchemizing the resentment and stress and anxiety and fear and guilt into a different energy of higher frequency. It's easier said than done, but they're saying you're more than competent to do it. You're more than capable of doing it. It just takes time in building it. And they're saying it's just fresh still. So you're going to feel it. So they're saying allow the feeling to be there, but then start to take a handle on it and alchemizing it into excitement and curiosity of the future. So when you go into these new spaces of twin flame energy, you're as good as you can get. And see if Naomi has anything.
Yeah. So a lot of what comes up for me on that is the extreme practice, the extreme practice of extreme forgiveness, extreme gratitude, the forgiveness practice, not only of him, but of yourself, to root out any of the underlying grief that there might be, so that it doesn't hold you in a grip, so that you can simply, what do you need to ask or say to yourself, or write down, because sometimes it's easier that way, to really be able to do exactly what Jennie's saying, to be able to transmute that so you understand, you keep the lessons, but you lose the experience. Does that part make sense to you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On a practical level, grief is grief. We don't go through any big shift and change without some kind of emotion showing up. Like Jennie said, it can act like poison, though, if we let it sit and simmer into resentment. So when those things show up, this time of year is metal. That's the element that governs this time of year. And it's all about the lungs and the large intestine. The lungs allow us to take in a full breath of life. The large intestine obviously eliminates the waste. And those two organs work in tandem this time of year. So you want to make sure you're taking in that fresh breath of life. I keep hearing protect yourself, but it's not about closing down. It's about protecting your physicality so that you can deal with the emotionality. Can you see where that could be a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I do.
So really focus on that. Keep your neck wrapped. Keep your kidneys protected. So always wear a shirt that's long enough. It's too cold this time of year to wear shirts that right up, or even here in California. But just really protect your physicality so that you have that strength to deal with when the waves of emotions show up. Extreme gratitude. What about this is right for me right now? Finding that extreme gratitude. If you don't have, you may or may not, I don't know, but you may or may not have that ability to forgive him in this moment. And so that's when you get to ask your guide to forgive him for you until you can, and be gentle with yourself, right?
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thanks for calling in. First time on the show. Message me or text me, and we'll get on the phone and we'll find some time to do some cord cutting and clearing and really putting forward what you need. I appreciate you. Tell your mom I said hi, and you have a good day.
I will. All right, you too. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for calling. I'm just getting so much out of this just as a listener. This is all good stuff. We have time for one more caller. So let's see. I'm going to be the picker. I'm going to pick this one. 720 area code. What's your name? What's your location? What's your question or comment?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay.
My name's Randy.
What's your name?
And I'm from Colorado. My name is Randy from Colorado.
Perfect.
Hi there. What do you got for us today?
Hi. My question is about my 16-year-old daughter. She's having a lot of stress, and wondering, how, I don't know. I'm worried that it's more than stress, that it might be, I'm just wondering how it could help her the best. What I could do for her.
Excellent question. And we're going to give you that information, but first I'm going to help you because it looks like you're anxious and you're frazzled, and that's normal when your daughter's having issues and stress, but they want to remind you, your spirit guides are stepping forward, that they really want they want you to remember that she's learning and you gave birth to her and you've done a good job, and she's going to fall and dip and experience fluxes of emotions and anxieties and stresses. They're saying it would behoove you to, of course, be present with her, but not to vicariously live through her. They're like, you've already done your teens. No one wants to necessarily be pulled back there. It's stressful, the hormones, everything, life, just it all. It's difficult. So they're saying you can benefit her best by being the parent. So standing, we're not perfect, but standing with as most confidence and as less stress and anxiety so that you can be that solid ground that she can lean into when she needs it. And I think this will benefit you too, because then you won't be feeling all the anxiety. So they're saying you can help her by helping yourself. They're saying you can't make choices for her. I mean, on some level you might be able to because she's still living with you, but we all have this free will and these paths, and we're doing exactly what we need to be doing. So they're saying just remind yourself that everything's playing out as it should. And your worry about it being more than typical anxiety is just that, worry. They're saying we can't tell exactly where she's going to go with her mind, but it looks very natural and normal, the hormones and the kind of breaking into the independence. They're saying take it a little less personally. And again, it's hard because she came out of you. But they're saying try to imagine, that she's on her route and she's going there and she's going to dip and weigh, and you just be the lovely mother bird that is there in the nest and can give advice and hold space and be confident, because you are the parent, whether you have it all figured out or not. You're the one that they come to for advice and even just watching how it all plays out. So you can help her by working with your own anxiety and stress. And I'm going to hand you over to Naomi.
Thank you. And Jennie, I'm glad you brought up hormones a couple of times, because that was the first hit I got with hormones. So depending on what her hormones are doing, and we all know hormones are a thing. I'm sorry. They just are.
It's real.
So, and in today's day and age, there's so much pressure on teens to get some adrenal balance for both of you. Now, can I ask, how does it show up for you? Does it show up for you as anxiety, or does it show up for you as fear?
I think both.
Both. Okay. So in that, we want to make sure that there's the adrenal balance, partially with her, because there's the that has a lot to do with the hormone balancing as well, is really supporting the adrenals. Plus, when you're 16, there's schoolwork and there's friends and there's all the things. For you, it's the adrenal balance, but it's also the dealing with the worry and the anxiety. And what came up as Jennie was talking is, what do you need to do, ask, or say to trust yourself in being the mother she needs? What do you need to do, ask, or say to trust that your daughter is I was going to say fine, but the word that showed up is safe.
What do I need to do? I don't know.
What do you need to do, ask, or say?
I'm researching. What I've been doing is I think that there's probably food has a lot to do with our guts and our probiotics and vitamins and magnesium. I've been researching that. I mean, she wants to go see a therapist, and I don't know. My feeling is that we have the ability to heal ourselves, maybe with. I mean, I'm more interested in life coaching more than therapy, because I feel like that's you do the work. It's not about somebody else. I don't want somebody else. I feel like she has the ability to figure it out, somehow.
And it's sometimes whether that guidance to find her right answers, right? So she sees and understands.
I feel life coaching is more guides you to figure it out more than a therapist, maybe because that's my experience with therapy. I didn't have such great experience with therapy. And I'm just worried because my father-in-law may have had bipolar, so she said she's been crying a lot, and she also gets highs, so I'm and then she keeps saying, I have mental illness. I'm but then
so here's a really great
telling
thing.
Me she has mental illness.
So typically bipolar doesn't, it's not always true, but it doesn't typically show up till much later than what she is. So and hormones, God bless whose idea it was for us to have hormones in the way we have them. Frida and I are going to have a big conversation when that time comes. That can make you feel like you are losing your mind. It absolutely can. And so there can be a food issue. There can be a hormone balance issue. And yes, then sometimes it is simply the guidance of helping you see your life clearly. If she would be interested in having a conversation, or if you would, to discuss this and go a little deeper and a little further, I cut my teeth in the coaching realm as a holistic health coach, so I understand the health side. I understand the life coaching side. I'd be happy to have a conversation. I may not be the right person to help her, and I will be very honest with you if that is the case. And sometimes we can drive ourselves absolutely frantic with thinking there's something wrong with us, and especially if we already have a little bit of an anxiety imbalance happening that could be easily mitigated.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and they're saying apply that to you as well as your daughter. They're saying your worry and stress is like praying for what you don't want. We can't change if the daughter is bipolar. I don't see it. I'm agreeing with Naomi. This comes out much later, and we're dealing with hormones here. But your worry is like drinking poison and praying for what you don't want. Caution, concern, awareness. Those are the places you want to sit when you're dealing with things you have zero control over, like your daughter's chemical makeup when she's 23. You just don't have control over that. So they're saying working with your anxiety and stress is really, really going to be the kicker here. And your daughter is well on her way of moving through the hormonal stuff. Again, we still get it in our 20s and stuff, but where she's at right now is her age. It's really intense. And they're saying absolutely the whole family can cut out grains and sugar. See what happens. Play with that first. So go ahead and play with the diet and stuff, but they're saying from the spiritual and energetic standpoint, watch that worry. It's more of a problem than your daughter's chemicals could ever be. So we appreciate you for calling. We're coming to the end of the show.
Thank you.
We're here every Sunday, noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 Eastern. We're here for 90 minutes. We'd love for you to join us next week.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Randy. Randy from Colorado. That was well, unfortunately, we're out of time. So if you're in the queue and you wanted to get through, we encourage you to call back next week. Call into our shows throughout the week. When you call in, you can go to everydaypsychicradio.com, press the magic button, and jump to the front of the line. It's a simple process. Why do we do that? Because we care. Anyway, I want to thank today's special guest, Naomi C. The C is for Calderon. And you can catch her on Facebook. It's facebook.com. Is it Sunshine Sage?
Sunflower Sage.
Oh, my God. Sunflower.
Yeah.
See, what happens when you don't write stuff down and you get old?
I get it, dude.
Sunflower Sage, which is beautiful. So check her out there, and also check her out on her show, Rain Radio. And that's on which day?
Fridays.
Yeah. So please do all that, and check out Jennie McDaniel in the usual place, in the usual manner. And I'm Drew Pillow, and we're out of here, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Naomi.
Thank you, Drew.
Don't forget to visit our website, everydaypsychicradio.com, and look into our VIP readings. And also like our Everyday Psychic Radio page on Facebook. This is a Heart Over Ego production. I'm Drew Pillow. On behalf of Jennie McDaniel and Stacie Martin, have a great week, guys. We'll see you next time.